Greetings, fellow Earthlings. It's me, JC. Thanks for tuning in to Blue Studios. Today, we're going to be shooting for the stars. Well, not quite that far. We're staying inside Earth's orbit for this lesson. We'll be exploring the International Space Station. What's that, you ask? Let's turn our dials to 250 miles above Earth and find out. Blast off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You said we have a lesson. Way out here above Earth's surface, we find a huge spacecraft in orbit, the International Space Station. It looks like a massive satellite, but it's actually a science lab. Weighing in about 1 million pounds with a 240-foot wingspan, the space station takes up some serious, space. It's the size of a football field and has massive wings that are actually solar panels to provide continuous electricity. It also requires a lot of care and maintenance from NASA headquarters on Earth, from inside the space station, and from outside the space station. When an astronaut suits up and goes outside the station, it's called a spacewalk. Spacewalks are used for many reasons, like to work on the station, test equipment, conduct experiments, and more. The space station can connect up to 8 spaceships at a time and has over 50 computers to control its systems. So, how did something so humongous and complex get up there anyway? It took NASA and Russian scientists over 42 spaceflights to charter all the pieces, and then 13 years to complete the construction. Talk about a big project. The science lab in the sky is a location for astronauts to study space, gravity, and loads of other things. Research conducted on the space station includes an endless array of topics, such as how to purify water, growing food without gravity, monitoring Earth from above, and even studying disease and drug development. Scientists also expect to use the space station as a layover when attempting to visit other planets, like Mars, in the future. Though it seems really far away, it takes a spaceship only 4 hours to get from Earth to the space station. That's faster than a lot of commercial flights down here. It's about the same distance away as a drive from New York City to Boston. Too bad we can't load up a car for a weekend road trip to the space station. How cool would that be? Aside from being a floating hub for all things science-y, the space station is also a house. In order to get all that fancy research done, someone has to be there to manage it all. In this orbiting space home, there are 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a gym, and a 360-degree window dome called a cupola. That almost seems more like a mansion than a house. The space station isn't just any seasonal rental either. It's a constantly bustling center for ongoing experiments and research. It's been in orbit for over 20 years, and there have been astronauts living there ever since. But it hasn't been the same group of astronauts for 20 years. The space station houses labs from the United States, Russia, Japan, and Europe. Scientists from these nations and many others have been taking turns aboard the space station to conduct their research. The longest that one person has spent aboard is 665 days. That was NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson, the first female space station commander. When astronauts live in the space station, they experience what is called microgravity. Here on Earth's surface, we experience the full effects of gravity, meaning our feet stay on the floor, a thrown ball returns to the ground, and our dinner stays on the table when we are eating it. But up in space, things are a bit different. The space station orbits around the Earth, just like the moon, but it isn't just floating. It is actually in a constant state of free fall. It is hard to imagine, but the space station is falling at a speed of 17,500 miles an hour, all the time. The speed matches the curves of the Earth, so instead of falling to Earth, the space station falls around Earth. In just 24 hours, the station orbits, or falls around, the Earth 16 times. That means, in the span of one day, the astronauts inside see 16 sunrises and sunsets. Good thing days don't go by so quick down here. You'd hardly have any time to get things done. With the station is moving so fast, this creates a microgravity environment, where the astronauts feel weightless and they look like they're floating. Living in microgravity would be super fun. You'd move like you were swimming around through the air, and you could joke without ever dropping a ball. But it would also be tricky at times. You wouldn't be able to drink out of a glass. Your juice would just float away. If you were trying to color in a notebook, your pencils would all drift off and your paper wouldn't stay on the table. The scientists at NASA considered the impact of microgravity and outfitted the space station in designs that could help the astronauts cope with these effects. For example, the dinner table has straps on top of it to keep their food packages secured. When they want to use salt and pepper, it comes in a liquid form. Otherwise, the crystals would float off everywhere. Aside from the trickiness of eating in space, living in microgravity has other downsides. Without the influence of gravity, bone density and strength can decrease drastically. The gravitational force here on Earth keeps our bones and muscles healthy as they constantly work against the power of gravity to support the body. But in space, many physical changes can occur, including muscles and bones becoming weaker, and the body's sense for balance is altered. To counter the effects of microgravity, astronauts had to put that space station gym to use and exercise for at least 2 hours every day. Phew, that makes me tired just thinking about it. If you got the energy to spare, you can put your creative skills to work with a fun activity with this lesson. We've included a set of blueprints for you to build your own model of the space station. You can get as crafty as you want when you make your version. Use popsicle sticks, toothpicks, or pipe cleaners to make a small version, or go big and make a model with cardboard boxes that you can crawl inside. The sky, nay, space is the limit. I am so excited to see all the different variations that everyone comes up with. Share your creation on social media by having your grown-up help you take some photos of the finished model. Use the buttons below to share or tag Blue Studios on your posts. Those shares can win you stellar prizes and get shoutouts from your instructors. Now, let's keep learning about the space station to inspire your models. Remember how the station is only 250 miles away? It's close enough to Earth that you can see it. If you time it right, you can spot the space station zip by in your night sky. If you happen to see it, you'll notice that it is bright and moves very quickly across the sky, though not as fast as a shooting star. Visit NASA's website, spotthestation.nasa.gov, to find out if the space station will be visible in your night sky. You don't just have to wait to catch a glimpse of the station up in space. You can also see what the astronauts are up to by watching NASA's live streaming videos or follow the station on Twitter or Instagram. That's right, it has its own Instagram. Wow. Quite savvy for a space station, isn't it? Let's review what we've learned today. The International Space Station is a multinational science center for astronauts to conduct loads of research and experiments. These studies help us to better understand many things out in space and here on Earth. The space station orbits around the Earth by maintaining a constant state of free fall that matches the curves of our planet. The ultra-fast orbit creates a microgravity environment, and the astronauts look and feel like they're floating about. To combat the deleterious effects of microgravity on the body, the astronauts need to exercise for at least 2 hours every day. You can catch a glimpse of the space station in the night sky when it travels overhead. How cool is the International Space Station? The things that the astronauts have learned in their studies on the station have been so beneficial to humankind. Now we know a little bit more about this orbiting science lab and astronaut mansion. Thanks for joining me on this journey into space today. We can't wait to see all the cool space station models that you've been crafting. So don't forget to share your makes with us on social media. I'll see you next time on another fun adventure with Blue Studios. This is JC signing off.
We are thrilled that you're watching Blue Studios 24/7. We're so excited to bring round-the-clock entertainment and educational content to your home. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest videos. At Blue Studios, we aspire to revolutionize the way families spend time together. We empower families by providing them with tools to work together, earn and learn, and achieve new heights of success. Visit www.bluestudios.io to discover more about our mission and how we empower families to succeed. Thank you so much for being part of our community. Keep watching and learning with us. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.